what's your take on the Biloxi games? You like them?
I'd like to go to them. I haven't ever been, but the same thing with these basketball games that State and Ole Miss played on the coast this year. State played in Tupelo. State plays usually in Jackson. Sometimes you got to bring the product to the fans, right? Not everybody can make it to Starkville. Certainly not for a midweek game. So here's an opportunity to get all your South Mississippi fans into the stadium. The Shuckers do a really good job with this event. I like it. I do wish that maybe it was a week earlier, but I understand they do it around spring break so the team can go down there and have a couple days on the beach. So I get it. It's kind of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other, good or bad kind of situation. But I think there's more good than bad.
Yeah, I'm with you. And if you listen to the show all the time, you know that I am very pro going to the fans. I like that basketball games are starting to happen on the coast now. I would love for one day they figure out how to bring football down there. Not a game. I understand that the facility just doesn't exist down there to play a game. But what would hurt for even spring practice to pick up and spend a couple of days down there, and do a scrimmage or something at Mississippi Gulf Coast? They got a great football facility there. I mean, certainly adequate, and it's way better than adequate, but certainly adequate to host a practice or two or a scrimmage or two, something like that, because they are so far away. Oxford and Starkville both are so far away from the coast, and there are so many people on the coast, and there are so many casual sports fans on the coast that may not have a big school tie. They either went to Mississippi Gulf Coast or any number of small schools, and there's no shame in this at all. Maybe didn't go to college at all, but they want to adopt a team, and there's LSU right down the road. And so often I hear from people that have been around the state that there's a bunch of LSU fans on the coast. There's a bunch of LSU fans here in the Jackson area. And it's a lot of people that are from Mississippi that just picked one. And so if you can pick up football and bring it to the Ole Miss and State fans on the coast that are already there, and there's a dad who doesn't have a team, whatever, but Mississippi State's scrimmaging this weekend at Gulf Coast. You get to take little Johnny to the football scrimmage, and he gets to see these players and fall in love with Mississippi State football or Ole Miss football. You can cultivate and build a fan base. And no, they can't usually buy season tickets and go to 7 home games, but they can go to 1. And then they can buy your merch and join your collective. And I think that's the next step here. Is I like to see them incorporating the coast. I would love to see them do it even more and bring football down there, even if it's in the spring. Throw those people a bone.
I mean, I agree. As basketball, we've got arenas throughout the state where you can play basketball games. You got one in South Haven, Tupelo. We mentioned the coast, Jackson, although I would like to see the Mississippi Coliseum, get a little bit of an upgrade there. But you can do that. Baseball, easy enough in Jackson, easy enough on the coast. I guess, in North Mississippi it would be difficult. Although I don't know, man, some of those baseball factory schools up there like DeSoto Central, I bet they've got the facilities that can pull it off. Yeah. But football, it would have to be sort of a scrimmage situation, but that would be a great thing, to go to those areas. And because you're right, there is almost sometimes you feel like you concede South Mississippi to LSU sometimes. Mm-hmm. That there's so many Tiger fans down there. You could bring some adventure, some excitement down there with a practice at Gulf Coast. And you can do it at other places, too. I mean, you could go to Northeast, Northwest. I mean, all of our junior colleges, our community colleges here in this state have got facilities that are, like you said, certainly capable of handling a practice for an SEC squad.
No doubt. So I hope to see that. What do you guys think? 601-879-4395. 601-879-4395. That's the C Spire text line. We would love for you to be a part of the show. Please don't text and drive, though. That's a bit of a hypocritical statement on my part. We're all about just hypocrisy today on this show, or calling it out or admitting to it. I have sent text messages while driving. It's a very stupid thing to do. I've done it. C Spire wants you not to do it. There's a voice text feature on your phone. It inserts way too many commas, I've learned. I mean, it's just a comma machine. But we'll understand what you're trying to get at. So be a part of the show and do it that way. What do you think? What do you think about that? Somebody says, it's funny, State has more reach into North Alabama and West Tennessee than our own Gulf Coast.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That's something you just got to fix. Yeah.
And geography's part of that, of course, but
yeah. I mean, and there was a time when the highway system in this state, it was just easier for if you lived in Biloxi to get to Baton Rouge than it was to get to Starkville. It was just a terrible drive. Now it's easier, but those things still remain. So yeah. State and Ole Miss both could benefit from going down there and reaching out to their fans. Anything. Again, it sort of goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, that everything now is about being more fan-friendly and providing access and providing those kind of superior experiences. Well, here's another one for you. I mean, if they announced, they couldn't do it now because spring practice is already going on in Oxford. It's about to start in Starkville. But if they said next year, hey, over spring break especially, we're going to do a practice in Biloxi. Ole Miss is going to be on this day at MJ, or not in Biloxi, in Perkinston, but Ole Miss is going to be on this day. Mississippi State's going to be this day. USM could go down there too. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's closer to their home base, but still. Or if USM wanted to do a practice up here in North Mississippi, they want to go to EMCC or something, they could do that.
For sure. And I think a lot of people would go. I would go. I mean,
yeah.
If anybody practiced, and if it's any of the three, I mean, I've had the pipe dream of the Saints coming back up here, but Deuce has told us the story about the time that they came, and I don't know.
Yeah, it never happened.
But I would take my son. I'd take my son to see State practice, Southern Miss practice, Ole Miss practice. Don't care. I want him to be able to see and feel what football is like, and I would do it, and I know a lot of people would as well. Somebody says it's a great idea, but is taking practice off campus legal with the NCAA? I mean, good luck telling anybody no if you're the NCAA for something like that at this point.
Nowadays, yeah. It's just everything. You can do whatever you want nowadays.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I could not imagine there being a rule that would tell them they couldn't do it. I mean, there's Florida State Stadium is like getting halfway demolished right now. They can't practice there. So, anyway.